I welcome you all in this lecture of the heat transfer. In previous lectures, we derived generalized heat conduction equations in rectangular coordinates, cylindrical coordinates, and spherical coordinates respectively. Now, we will use those generalized heat conduction equations to solve some of the simple cases, to obtain the temperature distribution, to obtain the values of the heat transfer rates. Means in this lecture, we will use those generalized heat conduction equations to solve some of the simple cases through which the one-dimensional heat conduction is taking place. So the next chapter I'm going to start is one-dimensional steady state heat conduction. One-dimensional steady state heat conduction. Steady state heat conduction. One-dimensional steady state heat conduction. One-dimensional steady state heat conduction. In this chapter, please note one-dimensional steady state heat conduction. So in this chapter, we will probably study 2 or 3 cases. The case 1 which I am going to take is the heat transfer or conduction through a plane slab. Conduction through a plane slab or wall. Conduction through a plane slab or wall. Please note, let us consider the one-dimensional heat conduction through this slab of thickness L. Let us consider the one-dimensional heat conduction through a slab of thickness L. It is having some width perpendicular to the plane of blackboard. So let us consider one-dimensional heat conduction through this slab of thickness L. Or this may be the wall of your room of thickness L. Let T1 is the temperature of the inner face or this left face of the slab. T2 is the temperature of this right face of the slab. Let T1 is greater than T2. Let T1 is greater than T2. If T1 is greater than T2, then the conduction of heat will take place in positive x direction. The Q conduction will take place in this direction. Yes or no? Please note, my dear, please note. Left face is maintained at temperature T1, the right face is maintained at temperature T2. This is given to you, means T1 and T2 are specified in the problem. T1 and T2 are specified in the problem. So we can determine that the direction of heat transfer would be from high temperature toward low temperature. So this would be the direction of heat conduction. Means heat will conduct from left face towards right face through the material. That is how the conduction would take place. Okay, so please note, this is specified in the problem T1 and T2. I am going to measure x from here. I am going to measure x from this left face. Means for this point, for left face, extreme left face, x is 0, and for this extreme right face, x is equals to L. I am going to measure x from here. This is my reference point. So for this point or this face, from extreme left face, x is 0. For extreme right face, x is equals to L. Now I am making certain assumptions to solve this problem. Certain assumptions are there to solve this problem. What are those assumptions? Please note, the assumptions are, first is one-dimensional heat conduction. The first assumption is one-dimensional heat conduction. Means the conduction is taking place only in positive x direction. The conduction is taking place in positive x direction. In y and z directions, there is no conduction. Second, steady state. Steady state means del T upon del T would be 0. Steady conditions are there. The temperature is not changing with respect to time. The temperature at any location is not changing with respect to time. In due course of time, when the heat transfer would take place, each and every phase would be maintained at a particular temperature, and during the conduction, no temperature is changing with respect to time. This is the steady state. The third is, let the material is thermally isotropic. Thermally isotropic material. This assumption do not have any meaning for one-dimensional case. Thermally isotropic material. This do not have any meaning for one-dimensional case, please. But still I am writing, no problem. And K is constant. The thermal conductivity is constant. Thermal conductivity is constant. Thermal conductivity K is constant. Thermal conductivity is constant means thermal conductivity is independent of temperature. Thermal conductivity is independent of temperature. The thermal conductivity is constant. And fifth assumption is there is no heat generation within the element, no heat generation within the slab. Let there is no heat generation within the slab, it means that this Q dot G is equals to 0. It means that this Q dot G is equals to 0. Okay, so these are the 5 assumptions under which we are going to derive an expression for the rate of heat transfer and temperature distribution for this plane, slab or wall. Let's carry forward. Please. Now, the generalized heat conduction equation for case of slab or wall, the generalized heat conduction equation in rectangular coordinates is given by, we have already understood that was del upon del x of k del t upon del x plus del upon del y of k del t upon del y plus del upon del z of k del t upon del z plus q dot g plus rho c del t upon del t. Okay, when this k was taken out, when this k was assumed as constant, let k is constant, then k will be taken out and the equation became del square t upon del square del x square del square t upon del y square del square t upon del z square plus q dot g by k is equals to 1 upon alpha del t by t. This was when this k was made as constant. In this approximation, in this expression also, we are taking k as a constant, so we can use this equation, because this equation was simplified when k was assumed as constant. I treated the material to be thermally isotropic, then I took k as constant, so this was the generalized heat conduction equation in rectangular coordinates. Since we are considering heat transfer through a slab, so we need to use this equation. Now, please note, since there are study conditions, for study state, I have already, for steady state, this del T upon del T would be 0. For no heat generation, since there is no heat generation, I have made assumption that there is no heat generation. Since there is no heat generation, therefore this Q dot G would be 0. Therefore this equation, and since one dimensional, therefore del square t, this term and this term will get cancelled out. No heat generation, this term will get cancelled out, and due to steady state, this term will get cancelled out. Please note, due to steady state, this term is 0. Due to no heat generation, this term is 0. And since one dimensional, therefore we are left with only one term, which is equals to del square t upon del x square equals to 0. Now please note, since here the temperature is varying only in x direction, therefore this partial derivative equation would be replaced by total derivative equation is equals to 0. Can I write like that? Since here temperature is varying, since one dimensional heat transfer is there, therefore temperature is varying only in x direction, therefore this partial derivative equation can be written in total derivative form. Now let's integrate this equation. Integrating the equation. If we integrate this equation, then we will get dt upon dx is equals to C1. Okay, this is that equation first, this is equation second. Again integrating the equation, again integrating this equation, again integrating the equation, we will get t as a function of x is equals to C1x plus C2. C1x plus C2. This is equation number 3. Now, this equation clearly indicates that temperature is a linear function of x. Since temperature is a function of x raised to the power 1, this is x raised to the power 1, therefore this equation indicates that temperature distribution within the slab, the temperature distribution within the slab is linear. Please note, this equation indicates that the temperature distribution within the slab is linear, or the temperature is varying in linear form. Okay, so this temperature Tx as a function of x has been derived equal to C1x plus C2. C1x plus C2. Since T is a function of x raised to the power 1, it means the temperature is a linear function of x. Temperature is a linear function of x, or the temperature distribution within the slab is linear. That is, you can plot, I will plot later on as well, that this phase is at temperature T1, this phase is at temperature T2. So under all applicable assumptions, whatever the assumptions we have made, under all those assumptions, the temperature will be a linear function of x. Means in x direction, temperature will vary linearly. The temperature will vary linearly. Temperature is a linear function of x. There is linear distribution of temperature. Okay. Now let's proceed. Now we have derived that the Tx is equals to, very easy, C1x plus C2. Now C1 and C2 are the constants of integration, and they can be determined using certain boundary conditions. Now what are the boundary conditions? The boundary conditions are, the first boundary condition is that at x equals to 0, when at x equals to 0, t equals to t1. So the boundary conditions which we can take over here is at x equals to 0, t equals to t1, and second boundary condition at x equals to L, t equals to t2. Because t1 and t2 are already specified to us, which I have indicated in the beginning of the lecture as at x equals to 0, t equals to t1, at x equals to L, t equals to t2. So put this first boundary condition, we will have t equals to t1 when x is equals to 0. Put x equals to 0 plus c2. From here we will get c2 is equals to t1. And put second boundary condition that t equals to t2 when x is equals to L. Put value of x is equals to L and t equals to t2. So from secondary boundary, this is first boundary condition, this is from second boundary condition. From here, since C2 is T1, we will get this equation T2 is equals to C1L plus C2. Now put this value of C2 over here. T2 is equals to C1L plus T1. Therefore, we will have C1 is equals to T2 minus T1 by L. C1 is equals to T2 minus T1 by L. That is how we have calculated the constants of integration. Now, equation of temperature distribution can be written as Tx is equals to C1, that is T2 minus T1 by L into x plus, what is the value of C2? Plus C2 is value C1. This is the final equation for temperature distribution. This is the final equation for temperature distribution. This is temperature distribution equation. This is temperature distribution equation. Okay, at any length x, at any distance x, you can determine the temperature. For example, if you are told with that, what is the value of temperature at x equals to L by 2? Means you can get the value of temperature at any location x. If I ask you that, what is the value of temperature at the middle plane, at the midpoint, at the mid phase, then you will simply say that put x equals to L by 2. For this middle phase, for this mid phase, put x equals to L by 2. If I put x equals to L by 2 in this equation, I will get the temperature of mid plane within the slab. So wherever you want to calculate the value of temperature, put the value of x for that point only. Okay. So by this equation, you can determine the temperature at any location x. Okay. Okay, good. Now we will derive the expression for rate of heat transfer. This is very easy. Now the rate of heat transfer through this slab or through this wall, Q wall, can be written as minus K A dt upon dx. Minus K A dt upon dx. So that Q wall can be written as minus K A. What is the value of dt upon dx? Please note dt upon dx is equals to C1. In the beginning of the derivation, we understood that dt upon dx is equals to C1. dt upon dx is equals to C1. dt upon dx is equals to C1. Now, Q wall can be further written as minus K A. What is the value of C1? Value of C1 came out to be, please note, value of C1 came out to be T2 minus T1 by L. So it can be written as T2 minus T1 by L. Okay, so Q wall can directly be written as Ka T1 minus T2 by L. Okay, this is the expression what I was looking to give you. This is the equation for rate of heat conduction through the wall. This is the equation for rate of heat conduction through the wall. Simple equation, Ka T1 minus T2 by L. L is the thickness of the wall, T1 and T2 are the temperatures of left and right faces of the wall, A is the area of the wall perpendicular to the direction of heat transfer, K is the thermal conductivity of the wall material. This is the rate of heat conduction. This is the rate of heat conduction through the wall. Rate of heat conduction through the wall. Okay, so what we did in this lecture, again I am repeating lastly, we considered a slab or wall. This face was a temperature T1, this face was a temperature T2. We made certain assumptions that there is no heat generation, there is a study in heat conduction. Direction of the heat conduction would be this, from high temperature to a low temperature, and the temperature distribution came out to be linear. The temperature distribution came out to be linear means the temperature distribution will be a linear function of x. Temperature would be a linear function of x. So that's what we have done in this lecture. We got an equation for temperature distribution, we got an equation for temperature distribution, and another equation for rate of heat conduction through the wall. Thank you.